Every year, millions of students sit for the CBSE board exams. The pressure in these halls is immediate, and the margin for error is non-existent. The English exam pattern recently shifted. Memorizing chapter summaries is no longer a viable strategy for securing a top score. The board now prioritizes analytical skills through assertion-reason questions, extract-based multiple choice, and comparative long-answer questions, or LAQs. This mock exam paper contains a 5-mark long-answer question. It requires a multi-layered analysis of Robert Frost's Fire and Ice. Robert Frost wrote this poem using deceptively simple, accessible vocabulary. At only 9 lines long, the text is a paradox. It is one of the most conceptually dense and heavily tested poems in the entire CBSE syllabus. To secure maximum marks, passive reading is no longer enough. You must approach this poem as a mechanical system to be reverse engineered. We will dismantle the system using a 3-step reverse engineering framework. Step 1 isolates the symbolic variables, Step 2 maps the structural POEG devices, and Step 3 reassembles these components into models that meet the specific requirements of the examiners. This framework provides the exact modular vocabulary needed to resolve any trick question the board can deploy. This concept map illustrates the poem's central dichotomy. Frost weights 2 opposing forces by contrasting the fire of the opening lines with the ice introduced in line 6. We map the term fire to its specific CBSE marking scheme equivalents: desire, greed, lust, and fury. Frost equates desire to fire because of how it consumes. A single spark of greed spreads rapidly, burning through resources and overpowering rational restraint. Returning to the text, we map ice to its approved vocabulary: hatred, coldness, indifference, rigidity, and intolerance. These forces act like ice to freeze human empathy. Examiners test this through analogy-based multiple choice, matching variables like insensitivity to ice. Do not interpret this poem as a debate about climate or natural disasters. In this context, fire and ice function as precise placeholders for the 2 most destructive extremes of human psychology. The board also tests how a poem's form reinforces its meaning. We must analyze the specific poetic devices Frost uses to build this model. Observe "some say" starting lines 1 and 2. This repetition is anaphora. It mimics rumors, framing destruction as casual public debate to feel inevitable. Next, sound devices. Frost uses alliteration: f in favor fire, w in world will, and assonance in the long O of line 4. The rhythmic pulse of the alliteration and the sonorous, elongated vowels create a smooth, melodic cadence. This produces a sharp irony. The poem sounds pleasant and harmonious, even as it graphically describes the certainty of global annihilation. Personification is also present. Frost grants these inanimate concepts, fire and ice, the human agency and intellect required to destroy. Finally, look at the lack of punctuation at the end of lines 7 and 8. The syntax flows unbroken straight into line 9. This is called enjambment. This structural choice mirrors the theme. It mimics a relentless, cascading avalanche of destruction that cannot be stopped once it is triggered. The poem's final structural mechanic is its rhyme scheme. The color-coded ending words reveal a specific interlocking pattern: A-B-A, A-B-C, B-C-B. Isolating the A rhymes, the structure binds fire directly to desire. The B and C rhymes create distinct conceptual groups, linking ice and suffice to hate and great. The mathematical implication of this interlocking structure is total balance. Neither the fire rhymes nor the ice rhymes dominate the stanza. This rhyme scheme provides structural proof of Frost's central thesis. Both emotional extremes have the exact same capacity to end the world. We can now return to the 5-mark long answer question from Act 1 with a complete data set. The CBSE grading rubric focuses on 3 criteria: content, expression, and accuracy. We start with the symbolic vocabulary, defining fire as desire and ice as hatred. Next, we cite the enjambment to demonstrate how the form mimics unstoppable destruction. Finally, we reference the ABA BCB rhyme scheme to prove both forces have equal destructive potential.
This modular approach removes the uncertainty of facing unseen prompts or tricky assertion-reason questions. Isolating these poetic devices and locking down the symbolic vocabulary provides the specific analytical toolkit required to master the board exam with total clarity.